Hello and welcome to the 87th episode of the I was about to say you had me of the HaloEra podcast. Joining us like usual is myself, Aarsal or Soul or SoulBlazerz, and my great co-host Nick. How's it going, man?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's been a slow day today.
Yeah, yeah. For those watching, it's been a while, I think, for us. I think 3 weeks or so. Halo news in general is kind of slowed down. So if there's any issues with the sound or the audio or anything like that, please let me know. I'm gonna make sure I don't have background music playing this time. But yeah, today's episode should be pretty quick. We're gonna just dive through the content update 29. Just quickly overview, touch what the update released with. We're gonna touch on the Halo the Show Season 2 reviews. We will touch a little bit on the rumors of everything is doomed. As an Xbox fan, we'll touch on those, and overall, we'll have a good time. If you have any questions for us, feel free to pop them in the chat. And heck, we're small enough that we'll get to them. Probably all of them. So...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Grimmy. Sorry. First things first. I got a haircut. Yeah. I just got it an hour ago. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes because I have my hair in a
Nice.
ponytail.
Yeah.
But I just
Yeah. Yeah, I got my haircut last week. Instead of doing the podcast, I got a haircut.
that's smart. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. It was literally that much hair gets in the way of going to the gym. Like, cause I'm like, oh, I don't want to get super dirty right now. Oh, it's just like, no, just no more hair. 5-minute showers are back. Thank you. We have someone in the chat, someone I've never seen before, asking us a question. How do you guys review so much? Well, Mr. Norris, we actually have a man-made machine, not man-made, a machine-like man, either way, on our team
Yeah.
who just constantly plays games and writes like a demon in a good way.
Mhm.
And other great
Yeah.
members of our review team too, Genghis and Fairy. But anyways, so okay, let's dive right in. We'll start with the very first
No
thing.
more seasons.
No more seasons, exactly. So when this update was coming, right? They had a video saying, "Hey, we're going to talk about the update, blah blah blah," and all of us, I want to say all of us, assumed it would be season 6. Though until that point, they hadn't officially said the words season 6 before. And during the video, which was interesting, I was going through the things, going through some of ACS stuff. It talked about the custom game browser being well in the works and even planned to relate directly with ranked. But yet, they never mentioned season. And people were like, wait, are seasons gone? And then, yeah, exactly. Seasons are no longer a thing. In fact, I missed like the one line they said. So I'm like, no, that's not true. We'll get something soon. But no, seasons for Halo Infinite are gone. Instead, we have 3 operations. The first of which it's already started, which is called Spirit of Fire, of course, which is 5 weeks. The second and third will be 4 weeks each, doing the math. And I think one's going to be Cyber Showdown, and one is going to be, I think, the Yappening 3? To double check that. No, not Game Bar. The Yappening 2. Yeah. Sorry, Yappening 2. We're not quite there yet.
Seems like it's the third one. They've been doing the yapping stuff a lot.
Right.
I guess maybe second one for Infinite. I think they did one a while ago, didn't they? I don't know. It's hard to keep track nowadays.
But what's your first thought on this, Nick? No more seasons. What does that immediately make you think?
My first thought is it makes it so they don't have to stick to a schedule, so they can just kind of have a little bit more leeway in the production cycle. That's kind of what my first thought is, especially with all the turbulence of like the reshuffling of leadership that we've seen a while ago, and the cutting of the jobs in the tech industry and stuff, and especially in the gaming industry. And I think it's allowing them to like not be so tied down to these like season deadlines, and they can just kind of put out smaller bites and Um, that way they can focus a little bit longer on the bigger beats.
No,
That's my first thought.
that makes sense, and that's probably a more optimistic or more optimal way of looking at it. Because I know a lot of people, they saw no more seasons and immediately they thought they're winding down support of the game, which is interesting because that clashes a little with some other things they're doing.
Yeah.
In terms of content, so each operation is 20 tiers of a battle pass. There's 3 of them. There's a bunch of filler in them still. Like this one, for example, is okay. The first one, but you're right. It definitely decouples them from like hard deadlines, right? Which maybe puts them in like a let's wait and see spot, or I don't know, man. It's hard to say. You know?
Yeah, it's I think like so I still have some friends in the industry and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I know that like 343 is trying to hire people again.
Yeah.
So they're trying to swing back up. And I also know that if you just like look at LinkedIn and things like that of all the level designers that were there, I think they are all gone. I think there's there's no level designers left at 343. And they are having well, I'll say this: there's no like one in those specific level designer roles. There is people making maps.
Yeah.
Internally there are people making maps that are part of the Forge team, I believe.
Okay.
So it's like you still have, which those people
to be
know how to
fair,
make maps.
this was kind of expected, right? I mean, from the leaked files, we know that there are still quite a few developer-made maps that haven't released yet.
And there's probably a bunch of them. I mean, they like, and I know that there's still some maps in the files from when I worked there that that never got released, or have gotten so heavily modified or something that they're no longer there. But
and we know that they're hiring for the next Halo game, right? Just today, Cloudworld saw and hire on their thing, which is they hired someone named Chris Matthews, a studio art director that previously worked at Crytek, Coalition, Turn 10, and Ridgeline Games. No idea what they make. And he mentioned, Ridgeline Games.
Well, Crytek, that's an old name,
right? Oh my god! But he says, excited about the opportunity to help lead Halo into a very exciting new era. And this is not the first we've seen this kind of hiring, right? So it does kind of seem like they're ramping up. Probably, I want to say like pre-production is probably even too far of a stage. It's probably before pre-production.
I doubt it's. They might be in some initial planning phases for what their next, like, I'll say, major milestone will be. And they might end up going the Destiny route, where it's like Destiny originally was saying, "Hey, we're gonna be a 10-year game, and keep on doing updates and expansions and stuff." But then, like, kind of like with Halo, after a few years in, they kind of cut that plan, and then came out with Destiny 2 a few years later as just another game. So, I mean. It's funny because like Halo Infinite is the reason why they called it Infinite was because it's supposed to be a continuous thing. It was supposed to be a game that keeps on giving, essentially. So it's kind of, if they do make as people joke, the Halo Infinite 2, then it kind of defeats the whole naming purpose.
Halo Infinite +1, Infinity +1. But a few years ago or a few months ago or whenever, I was kind of the firm belief that, keep Infinite going. It's a great game, great foundation. Once you get to a good pace of releasing stuff, people will come back. You'll be great. People didn't really come back. Halo Infinite kept a steady audience, and it still does, Like, it's kept almost the exact same audience in the last 2-3 years in terms of numbers. It goes down, goes back up, but not high enough, I think, to justify like a deep investment into it. So these days, I'm more of the mind of, okay, fine. I've been playing Infinite for 2, and it's gonna be 3 years soon. You guys gonna, switch gears, work on the next Halo? go for it. Just please, 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 please learn from Infinite's mistakes. Do not let this happen again in terms of like no content for the first 6 and 12 months, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys had a great damn game.
I think what it kind of like if I was them, um, or I guess I said one avenue I could see them taking is that they will continue the Halo Infinite multiplayer,
Mm.
and maybe that's what Halo Infinite becomes, is just the multiplayer stuff that they keep on um going through and adding on, kind of like what Overwatch and
But if
uh
they were gonna do that, would they have
Apex and
like
Fortnite do.
would they have fired their internal level designers that aren't using Forge? You know what I mean?
So, well, they didn't really fire the internal level
Hmm.
designers. So the internal level designers left.
Okay.
They
Okay.
didn't get fired. They got jobs somewhere else. Like
Hmm.
it's common in the industry for
Yes.
that, and they
Yeah,
just
that's
hadn't
true. Yeah.
filled those spots yet. Um, so but I think what they might do is keep Halo Infinite, like the multiplayer stuff going,
Mm.
because they already have, like you said, the good foundation and everything,
Yeah.
and then start working on a next campaign that would just be kind of like another game, or I mean, it would be essentially another game. And I think with that, they'll even add on other big modes or things like that. So that way they don't have to redo all the work that they did for the multiplayer. They can just let that continue going on, build a big addition to it. So it would be something like essentially larger than an expansion. It would be basically an expansion, but you know, be chock full with a lot more stuff. I think they should kind of go that route. That way they can keep the base game, not have to keep that updating at kind of at a steady cadence, and then focus a lot more of the attention into doing like making a kick-ass campaign and even some other uh like new modes and stuff.
Yeah. And to be fair, maybe Halo's just the game, the arena shooters audience is this size. I mean, I know it was much larger at release, and for a good 3, 4 months, there was a ton of people playing it, right? But
Mhm.
there's no guarantee that those people would have remained, even if they had seasonality down, even if they had all the content ready to go. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if like if it's any indication too of just the gaming market in
Mm,
a sense where it's the trends and stuff. Like, arena shooters and stuff are huge. Like
yeah,
Call of Duty and Halo, like always dominated. And now it's like you don't really hear much about
yeah.
like Call of Duty, Halo, or even Battlefield,
And dude, even
Like
Call of Duty, it kind of feels like this is a bit of a conspiracy, but it kind of feels like they're smudging their numbers by bundling all of the COD games together as just Call of Duty. You know?
yeah. Yeah, because gosh, and uh, sorry, tangent here. The naming conventions of freaking
God.
Call of Duty. Like I installed the wrong one the other day because I thought it was the newest one, um,
Oh my
and
god.
luckily it was like free or still whatever, so I didn't have to buy anything. But I got in there, I'm just like, where's the campaign? Like
Oh my
I thought I had
god.
the campaign. Why is it wanting me to buy something? It's like this code comes with everything. Like
That's
so,
funny.
that was frustrating. But it's like it's trying to figure out what freaking game to play. It
Yeah.
was annoying.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of I guess this topic, right? It's kind of what's it called? God dang it. It's called when something like moves from
Snowball.
one transitions pretty nicely. Segues,
Transition, yeah.
segues nicely into another topic that is currently in the minds of everyone in the Xbox scene. Um, which is Xbox is changing their business strategy. We don't know how, we don't know what, but we do know they're planning, or at least thinking on planning, on porting more of their games to other consoles.
The you, you say changing their business strategy there, and they have been Xbox. People don't realize Xbox has been wanting to do
Yeah,
this
yeah,
for years. Like that, you can go back to like what Phil and stuff has said before in interviews and stuff that they would love to get. And I know like internally and stuff too. Like they would love to get the games on like every console into the hands of as many gamers as they can. That's how they try to go for this whole
they've said that
gamer.
so many times. Though to be
Yeah,
fair, they've also said things like every sale we have on a PlayStation is a sale we lose 30% on, blah blah blah, things like that.
Yeah, but it's like, so I'm not surprised that they went with this decision. Now, I'll be honest, I think that there should be some games that they do keep to like
Yeah,
PC
yeah.
and Windows, or sorry, PC
Xbox.
and Xbox. And that would be, Halo, I think Gears of War, some of the like the core staples of um the
Of the brand.
franchise and
Yeah.
stuff.
So
The
in other words,
brand.
you're saying you would prefer them to not port Halo Infinite, or release a new Halo
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, because I think it's just like, I don't know. It would be weird. Like, I'm a diehard Xbox fan. Like, I will never like touch a PlayStation.
Mm,
So, but I understand like the business model of it all.
yeah.
It's like, if they um want to port that stuff, if it's the right business move, then sure. It's like, if that's where things are going, where everything is just like, yeah, you don't really buy into a specific brand nowadays. You just kind of buy into like, it'll probably come into some kind of like a subscription model, like where everything
Yeah.
else is
Yeah.
going. I don't know. But yeah, I think it would be cool to still have them um uh specific to one, console, or the
Like
brand and stuff.
I agree, and I feel like no new Halo game should launch on PlayStation. That being said, just I mean, I like Infinite. I want to see it go on, and I feel like it would help the game out a lot if it released onto a platform that doesn't have any good first-person shooters that aren't Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
especially the Switch. I mean, this game was made for the Xbox One, right? And if they're
yes.
still not dropping the damn thing, which it doesn't seem like at this point there's any point to,
No,
friggin'
they would probably do that next major,
exactly.
like, major milestone thing.
So then, if you can release it on the Switch 2, which is coming in a few months later this year, why not, right? It's But then does
Now,
Xbox care enough about Halo Infinite to even fund those ports for the game? Is the next question.
yeah, yeah. They might eventually. Like, I I guess I guess if they were to like port over the stuff, then I would think that like maybe going the route, I would be fine if they ported, like, say, the older games and stuff to
MCC.
like, yeah, if they ported MCC over to PlayStation or something, I would be fine with that. I think, because then it's like, you're getting those older ones out there. It's, because you can
Build up an
basically do,
audience, right?
yeah, build audience, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that could kind of maybe help drive some
Yeah.
hype
Yeah.
for people to maybe go to the
I
like
mean,
switch
like
to Xbox or something
Sony's
for the new
PC
Halo.
push is what? Hey, here's God of War, and here's the sequel coming out a month later. Sorry, here's God of War on PC. Here's the sequel coming out a month later, only on PlayStation. So if you played the first game and you really liked it, hey, grab a PlayStation, play the sequel there,
Yeah.
right? Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how well the strategy is working, but it is something they're doing. So clearly, it must have some merit to it.
Yeah. Now I would say, I'll admit I'm a bit of a hypocrite here, where I'm like, I do like that the Sony games and stuff, I was able to find them on PC and stuff. And I haven't played any of them yet, but like Horizon, like those games, the Zero Dawn
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
um like those games, I always thought like it looked really cool. And
mm,
I was like, cool, like robots and adventure things, like, sure,
yeah,
that looks
yeah,
sweet. So once it came out on PC, I was like, oh, I might actually play that one day and
yeah,
stuff. So I
yeah.
just
Which
haven't got
which makes
around to it.
sense. I
It's been
mean, right? Because it's
busy.
not about the platform more so. It's about the games. If you find a game that
Yeah,
interests you, especially as the years progress and things become more platform agnostic.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's where things are going.
What's interesting though, what really kind of cracked me up was, so this news came out, right? In fact, okay, before, quick timeline for those watching that don't know, a week or so ago, or maybe a couple weeks before, there've been rumors saying that not Hellblade, Hi-Fi Rush is releasing on PlayStation. Here's some leaked files. Look, you have a PlayStation T-shirt, a Nintendo Switch T-shirt, and Sea of Thieves is also being rumored. Blah blah blah. And then we, as an Xbox era, dropped a big bomb just 4 days ago on Sunday afternoon, 4:20 p.m. Eastern time, where we heard a report, or we have a source that says Starfield is coming to PlayStation consoles, right? And that friggin' set the internet or the Xbox internet on fire, man. It was flipping Armageddon for a lot
Yeah.
of people losing their minds, blah blah blah. But the funny part is this news comes out, and now people are saying, okay, if Starfield is porting, then everything is free game, right? Which I agree with too for the most part. And then my Twitter is mostly Halo Twitter, right? A bunch of Halo people following content creators, blah blah blah. And I kid you not, like at least 90% of them, if not more, were like, please port the game to PlayStation. Do it. It'll save the game. It'll help us out. Please, please give them the game too. It was like the exact opposite reaction than the general Xbox fan. I found that kind of funny, which is why I'm kind of in that boat too, because I like the game. I want to see it successful. I want to see more content.
Yeah.
Which will dive us nicely into the next topic, which is the content that just released, right? And spoiler alert, it's just cosmetics right now, and one map, which I didn't like too much. I played on it a few times, but like it's we'll talk about it in a bit. But like, have you seen any of that on your Twitter feed? Like people like actually wanting the port?
I honestly had, like, as you were saying, like, talking about Twitter, I was like, I haven't really looked at Twitter in a long time.
Okay, fair enough.
I used
That's
to look
healthy.
at it a
That's
lot.
healthy.
Yeah, I used to look at it a lot, like all the time, but now I just like maybe look at Discord or whatever. But I just really haven't had time for like anything. So it's like I don't really pay much attention to Twitter and stuff like that. I I want to a bit more so I know what the hell's going on, but yeah, I guess I haven't really I guess seen a lot of that.
Yeah, fair enough. But okay, let's dive into the update. Because my spoiler alert doesn't really cover the whole thing. So, right away, Spirit of Fire. Anyone that knows Halo knows that references Halo Wars, right? And with it came the much anticipated Mark IV kit. And at first I'm like, man, what's the big deal? Like, it's just another Mark kit, it's whatever. But then you see it in game, it's oh yeah, they got like the beefy shoulders, and they look a lot like more menacing for sure.
I'll say I did see a lot of Twitter about all this in Spirit of Fire because I follow a lot of people that are big into Halo Wars. I was huge into Halo Wars as well.
Okay.
So I saw a lot of people happy about this, and I was like, finally a little W for the Halo Wars community.
Yep.
Which has been abused and forgotten by by 343, it seems like.
Yeah. But yes, I'm just gonna quickly go over this thing. So Mark IV is now in the game. It's a free kit given to everyone, and alongside it came completely multi-core shoulder pads. Now I think every shoulder pad in the game is multi-core.
Oh, sweet. That's one step closer to having my my ideal Spartan outfit.
They mention in the blog post something like there are now billions of combinations of cosmetics you can look. And to be honest, even before this update, I personally think Halo Infinite's customization is top tier. Like the Spartan identity is really well done.
They have a lot out there. Definitely needed a lot of work still. But,
and I mean, I'm kind of cheating in the sense that like I've been playing it for 2.5 years, so I have a bunch of crap unlocked, right? So but yes, so the first operation game is mostly about this core. It has, I think, a shoulder piece, a chest piece, the helmet, blah blah blah. The next two operations are gonna be the Cyber Showdown and the Yappening 2. So I guess this is where I'll talk about it. Is my issue, and the reason why I haven't actually been playing Halo too much in the last couple of weeks is because even though they talked about new playlists in the kind of sit down discussion, they didn't release with anything. In fact, the only new playlist is just a 24/7 illusion map, which we'll talk about in a bit. When for me, I kind of need something new to play. Right? When Squad Battle came out, I was playing it nonstop. When House Raid came out, I was playing it for like 2-3 weeks nonstop. Even the Tenrai playlist, I played nonstop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would give it maybe a month or two, and then we'll start seeing some more playlists.
Exactly.
Only because I think I mentioned before, I know the guy who does the playlist. So
they did specifically mention February.
Parental leave.
and we're finally getting. They mentioned a big team battle playlist, community playlist with 3 community maps, and they showed them, and that looks pretty cool. So I'm definitely gonna play a lot of big team battle finally after like years essentially of no or very little content being added into it. Um, there is also a new map, Illusion. But anyways, this was actually I think the last map that one of the level designers worked on, Cliff Schultz. I
Yes,
think.
Cliff. Yep, one of my other buddies. Yeah, because I saw him I think on LinkedIn and stuff.
Mm.
Like I don't really look I looked a lot more at LinkedIn now than I do Twitter. But yeah, this was one of the last maps I worked on.
Makes sense. Apparently, what's kind of funny is, what's kind of cool is the map has an Easter egg because they love throwing Easter eggs in. And this one you can drive
Yep.
a forklift. And
Oh,
already
yes.
the Forge community took that and started making games around forklifting other people and throwing them off
Oh
the.
yeah.
Throwing them off.
I did see some of those videos that you mentioned it. I was like, oh, they finally added a forklift in this with functioning forks. That's something we've been wanting since Reach. So so that's pretty cool. I'll have to play those sometimes.
Will Ayers asks random questions, but what is your career rank, guys? So
Oh,
I
hi.
played this game a lot in the first couple years. These days, I generally just do my weekly challenges. I think right now I'm gold, like the 3rd stage into gold. I want to say so, not that far since they added
Uh,
the career update.
I'm probably like bronze or silver or something.
Yeah, I mean you're
I
more of
don't
a
know.
forger, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, more forager and just casual. I have not played a lot. I have not played as much as I wish I
Mhm.
had. So like peek behind the curtain, I've been really busy or past ever since the beginning of January. And even before that, I was busy with getting a house. So it's like I have like no time for anything. And um which sucks because like I get home at like 9:30, 10 o'clock,
Mm.
like most days it seems like, and have no time to play. And I'm just like, I get home, I sit down, eat food, and I'm like, well, time for bed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
uh,
But yeah, I'll definitely play more with more playlist updates. And I think I probably prefer classic King of the Hill too. That being said, I played a fair bit of King of the Hill this last week. It's still really fun. It's even when it's just normal people, it's just fun shooting Covenant, man. But anyways,
mhm.
okay. So one thing that's kind of cool is they still continue to really update Forge, like a lot of
Yes.
nice, cool updates.
Though, from what I heard, the recent one broke a lot of things.
Dude, I've heard
Um,
everyone for every update breaks things.
yeah, it unfortunately, it's like they fix a little bit of things, but then it
Mm,
breaks a bunch of stuff. So like,
ouch.
which is unfortunate because that's also why I'm like, I don't really forge much anymore.
Yeah.
Well, besides not having any time, but like, uh, it's like if my stuff's gonna break or whatever, then you kind of lose the motivation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I know a lot of forgers early on just like were real excited with all the forge stuff, but then lost a lot of motivation because it's like, well, there's nothing to, or it's like my stuff's gonna keep on breaking. It's like this map that I spent,
Yeah.
40 hours on
Yeah.
so far is now like broken. I have to do like 20 hours of work to fix it.
There are few
It's
things
yeah.
as frustrating and immediately I'm out as losing progress, right? Or losing
Oh
rank.
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
heck, just recently I was playing Persona 3. I died. I realized I didn't save. I lost a couple days. It's just like 20 minutes, not that much. But it was enough for me to be like, nope, out for now. I'll come back again later. Like so I get it. But in terms of the updates this time around, they added the Covenant palette to
Yep.
Forge. And what's kind of funny is they kept saying, like, we'll get that really cool mid-shape remake now. We'll get that really cool mid-ship remake now.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, are you?
That's the first
Yeah.
first thing I thought of when I saw that. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, midship is gonna be made. That's the
No,
first
no,
thing
but
that's gonna
like,
be
how
out
are they
there.
completely ignoring Unique's midship? It looks great, even before this.
Oh, yeah.
That's what got me. But yes, we're definitely gonna get a great midship update. There's that. There's a Forge mode creator, which I think will just make it easier for forgers to share modes because it's prefabs now
Yeah.
instead of thing. This material swap, which I guess is kind of cool. You can make like wacky things.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been people have been wanting the material swap for a while because that alone just opens up a lot more for people
Mm.
to do and make custom objects and stuff, basically. So so that's huge. And
Makes sense.
I think it's on rocks or something now, right?
So right now, it is players can adjust up to 3 colors on select foliage objects.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that as Wilco, one of the
Mm.
people in our community, in the forest community, makes a lot of trees,
Mm.
like cool trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he has been wanting for ever since like the game came out, basically, for there to be material swaps, so that way he can make like different colored trees and stuff.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
yeah,
Someone should go make Pandora. Um,
yeah,
and then this one's kind of cool. Is they're continuously updating and improving the AI, the enemy AI.
yeah.
Though when I look at this, right, and immediately what I see is them still putting a lot of work into Forge, right?
Mhm.
Which kind of refutes my initial thought of, are they winding down support for the game? Well, if they were winding down support for the game, why would they keep putting in so much work into Forge, which will be useless
I
in
mean,
4 years or whatever?
w- well, so they could be putting a lot of work there to kind of counter that. Is like they know that Forge and custom games is what uh, kept a lot of the previous games alive.
Mm,
Like if you have a good custom game system and Forge and everything, like that's stable and allows people to create a lot of things, you can keep the game um, going. It's sustainable, basically sustaining it through the free work of the community.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
essentially.
that's kind of like you can have a decent sized Forge team and continue the game, like continue it through all that, and still wind out down a bunch of the other stuff,
That's, yeah, fair
like
enough. That's fair. Yeah, because I
so
mean, a next Halo game isn't gonna be minimum 3-4 years, right? So the
yeah.
beefier they, yeah,
I think we'll might see a that they're working on a next Halo game or a teaser, kind of like we did with Halo Infinite
yeah,
a long time ago with the engine
and Pancho Chief with Halo 5.
yeah,
Pancho,
yeah,
yeah,
it will be like 3 years probably at
yeah,
the
yeah.
soonest.
2027 would be the soonest. I personally think like 28, probably. Depends how quickly they can get things in
Yeah.
Forge. Um,
I'm more thinking 28,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. But but okay. Going down the list, blah blah blah. We'll talk about this more soon. But Halo, the TV show, is currently airing. It's gonna be airing again, season 2, and this time they finally have. I remember when the first season came out, like, how is there no collaboration with the game and the show? Blah blah blah. Right. This time they did plan ahead a little bit, and they got a bit of a collab. The 3 helmets, Kai's, Riz's, and Vanix, are gonna be, or already are, weekly Ultimate Award challenges, which is both good and bad. Good in the sense that they're completely free. All you gotta do is play the game. Bad in that if you didn't play the game during this time, you missed it. I almost
Yeah,
missed
like me.
exactly. I feel like you'd really like Vanix. You should definitely play it. That's week 4.
I think
That's what I have
Vanix
currently
is
up right
the
now.
yeah, that one is pretty cool. A
Yeah.
little bit of a it reminds me of the old bucket helmets of the knights.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So
But I remember I think last Monday I hadn't played the game all week, and I'm like, I really want this helmet. Helmets are like cross core. You can put them on everything. I finished all my challenges in like an hour again, which is why I'm not playing the game that much as well, because I finished them so quickly. So like I'm done them, move on to the next thing. That being said, I got to make sure I finish the operation. Okay, moving along. We
got a
also have.
question.
Sorry.
Since I got a question. Speaking of the spine helmets and the premiere and all that, from Tony. So what are we doing for the premiere? Staying up till 3 a.m. or wake up early?
I'll be honest. I
So
don't. When do the episodes premiere? Do they premiere tonight at like midnight PST, or do they premiere tomorrow evening at PST or EST or whatever the hell it is? I tried googling it. I couldn't find the
huh,
friggin' answer.
I would think tomorrow. Let me see. Do I have I have Premiere up on my screen. Let's see if there's anything for it.
And yeah, Riz is live right now.
Um,
I'll probably get it later.
but yeah, we will.
Oh, nice. Thanks,
Why is this?
Amitoni. I've been looking for that information. He says it's confirmed midnight PST, so 3 a.m. EST.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, I'm not staying up. I have work in the
yeah,
morning,
no, especially
unfortunately.
because it's both episodes. But what our plans are though, in general, is we're gonna have I believe an episode review by Jesse who went through the screeners. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep it up throughout the season. And it might be just written only, which makes sense. Though again, we'll get to that momentarily, but we will, me, Nick, Jesse, and John, however many of us can make it, however many weeks, we will have a spoiler cast on Friday. Friday evenings Eastern time, 7 p.m. is the current tentative time. I'll have the link up soon, probably later tonight, to share. But that's when we're gonna sit down and just talk about the episodes and what we liked, what we didn't like. If you guys were with us, I think 2 years ago now. Holy crap. We did the same thing for the first season. At the ending, we kind of rated it all together, what we thought. We'll do the same thing this time around. Keep an eye out for that. But also, personally, I watch with usually my sister or something. So I usually watch it Thursday evenings, you know? And I like getting a reaction from people who don't play the game at all, and it's just a generic sci-fi show for them. That always kind of like
Yeah, hell yeah.
interests me.
Yep. That I when people talk to me about it because they're like, "Oh, I know you. Like, what do you think of the show?" And then I'm like, "Well,
Do you
I
want to
know
know
you
what I
probably
think?
enjoy it. Yeah, I know you probably enjoy it because you haven't played. It hasn't been a part of your life for the last 20 years.
Seriously.
Um, but yeah. So
But we'll get more on the show momentarily. Let's finish up this. More HCS bundles and coatings, which is always cool. These ones look really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
those ones do. Yeah.
but they also, if for anyone who remembers, season one had coatings too, but they were kits at the time. Whereas your team's kit, you click it, and it was just the entire thing is separate. You can't customize it at all. They've since unlocked those kits, and now you
That's
can,
good.
if you
That's what they.
are exactly, yeah. If
That's
you
what they
own
should
them,
have
you can
done.
check them out. If you didn't
Yeah.
own them, you can still buy them again. But it's kind of nice. They're doing a lot of quality of life updates. And one of the last things is the shop. These past couple of weeks has been insane. A ton of stuff in there. Some stuff pretty friggin' expensive. Omega Team from Halo Wars is in the shop, which is kind of interesting. I haven't
Oh.
played Halo Wars, so I'm not sure who they are, but
Yeah, I've played it and trying to remember exactly and stuff, but it's been a while since I played the campaign.
I think they were even just in concept art. I'm not sure if they were if they made it into one of the games. At least that's what it looked like. But anyways, and also a pretty cool model for the sniper. Um, that's essentially the update, right? Though, really quick on the shop stuff is, I always kind of assumed a new season would be when they generate some of the most income, because that's when people buy the battle pass, right? Everyone
Mhm.
buys a battle pass. It's $10. Why not? What the heck, right? But
Yeah.
the fact that they did away with seasons makes me think it wasn't, making enough money in that way.
Oh yeah. Now that because because I was part of the flighting program and
Mm,
stuff, I used to get uh um credits and stuff
the battle
to buy
pass, yeah.
the battle pass and stuff. So now I'm wondering what's gonna be going on with that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're right, huh? But like thinking about it, I feel like maybe their battle pass system was almost too generous. And I know people will kill me for this, but assuming you don't spend anything, right? You could spend $10 once in the game and then get every single friggin' battle pass, assuming they kept releasing them, which is great for us. Uh, but these games obviously need to make an income, right? They
Well,
need to make revenue.
that's kind of what they so that's what Apex does.
Mm.
Is like if you buy the battle pass once throughout the whole if you do the whole thing, you get enough credits to buy the next one.
Yep, Fortnite does that as
Now,
well.
yeah, so but as someone who plays a lot of Apex and was in that ecosystem, you get those coins, and then something cool comes out, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I have free coins.
yeah.
I'm gonna buy those." And then when the battle pass comes around, you're like, "Oh, I have to spend $10 to get the next battle pass." So, like, yeah, if you are true to it and you're just like, "Okay, I'm just gonna spend the $10 once and keep on playing and not buy anything else," then yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the majority of people end up falling into the like how I did. It's just like, "Oh, this looks cool. I got the coins from playing the battle pass and stuff," and then, you know,
And then you end up having to
uh,
buy the battle pass anyways, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, really quick. One a chat asked us a question. Do you think there's a chance we get a 20 tier patch with each content update? Yes. It's not a chance. It's confirmed. Every operation will come with a 20 tier pass. I'm trying to see if I can find them. Yeah, here. Let me. There's. It was. In fact, I think they actually showed the passes too on stream. Let me show you guys really quick. See if I can get through them.
And yes, we did talk about the new director, new art director.
Yes, yes. Like in general, they're clearly ramping up for the next Halo game, which is pretty exciting, all things considered. Even
Yeah.
if it will take quite a while to actually release.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, sure.
okay, so this was a Spirit of Fire update that we went through, which you already know. And then I think, yeah, so here we go. So they did kind of show it. Why does spacebar not work sometimes? I swear. This is Cyber Showdown 3, which I believe has another 20 credits. It's spoiler alert for those who don't want to see the next operations. That's a cool keychain. Ooh, kind of nice, mossy green look to that. Chimera stuff. That's cool. That's cool. You know, it should be Chimera stuff. I actually didn't like. Ooh, that was a cool visor. Pretty cool looking shoulder pads, and whoo, that's a cool looking helmet. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Which you guys will see.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, Ahmed Tony, all we really said was just they're working on a new Halo game. It's exciting. Who knows what the heck it's gonna be?
That is a cool looking helmet.
That is
It's
a
like a
really cool.
brain.
That's a really cool looking helmet. And then I believe they also showed, yeah, the happening 2 as well, which I will pause when I see something interesting. Nice. Um. Uh. Sorry. Man, my brain clearly cannot do too many things at once. I swear.
Yeah. So the shop stuff. Yeah. So I'll have to look back at the shop, but yeah, they do price stuff like expensive in there, and I know
Mhm.
we talked about that before, where it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like I would you would bleed more out of me if the stuff was cheaper and over a longer period of time
Agreed.
rather than, because I don't want to bite the bullet on something that's like $20.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
That's too much money at
I mean,
once. You right? Like,
I was gonna say I already bought the game, but I didn't. Well, I did, but I also got it for free. So
yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they have people looking at the data and looking at what sells and what doesn't. Right. That helmet is what I'm paused on is the final reward for the happening too, which honestly looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Though in general, clearly it's not as much cool content as a whole season would be. Like the flood stuff we had was pretty friggin' cool. And in fact, every time I get the shotgun, it looks so cool. Um, but anyways, yeah, I mean the game's got to make money. Is it winding down? Is it not? I guess we'll see what happens the next upcoming months.
Yeah.
One thing I know is that HCS is still going pretty strong. They released the roadmap, which I think we already talked about, but it's four, and actually five full events. One of which is in London, UK, which must not have been cheap, to plan.
No.
So either they're burning whatever money they have left for HCS, or HCS has actually been going solid, and they were given the approval to keep it going. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, wouldn't surprise me. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if Call of Duty follows more in the veins of Halo in terms of how they run their esports, especially after the recent layoffs over there. But okay, all right. That's a Spirit of Fire update. Still waiting on playlist updates, of which I believe they said we're getting new Husky Raid maps, new Big Team Battle maps, new Squad Battle maps, I think. I'm not 100% sure. And okay, all right. So that is that. Next up on the agenda is
Going going back to the series,
yeah,
Halo series season 2.
going back to Halo the series, which I think is the official title. Which makes sense.
That
Yeah,
makes sense if it was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So Halo the series season 2 has early reviews released earlier this week, Monday, 3 a.m. as well. Oh, which I guess should have that should have warned me right there. The premiere time is literally 3 a.m. Eastern is when they were allowed to release these. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be weird. That means the reviews for the episodes might come out like before the vast majority of people see the episodes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
But anyways, and it's reviewing decently well. Um, Here at XboxEra, we were actually able to get screening copies, and by we I mean Jesse, who bugs the crap out of people and gets things done, and I don't know how he does it, but he does. And he was able to watch the first 4 episodes in screener quality, so not 4K or anything, and he wrote a review for the episodes, which I will link in the chat, and we'll read the first paragraph. So, full disclosure, I haven't read this entire review because I kind of want to go in more so blind
Blind.
with this
Yeah,
stuff, right?
same.
But I'll read his first paragraph, which I think will have enough discussion points. Um, okay, so Jesse Donkabessa Norris. After watching the first 4 episodes of Halo the series season 2, I think it's safe to say it's better than season 1. It also diverges further from the books and games than that season did, and as a TV show, I think it works. Hardcore Halo fans will be angrier than ever, which is saying something.
I don't like this review already.
A more prestige feel will enamor the public at large. As none of the episodes have aired, I'll try to be spoiler free as possible, while still trying to convey just how I feel after getting to see each episodes 1 through 4 early. And then I'm going to read just his last paragraph. First, last. Yeah, I feel that should be a good. This is what I think most people do for reviews, to be honest. First, last. Look at the score. 4 episodes in, and I'm fully invested in seeing where things go. The tonal shift and more consistent quality make for some entertaining and expensive looking TV. I know Halo's hardcore fandom will most likely hate this season just as much, if not more, than season 1. Halo's story isn't a sacred cow for me, though. I'm fine with changes as long as they make for good television, and I think so far they have.
See, I thought I saw a review or something. Like it was a headline because I didn't want to go like get into it, saying that like they dropped a lot of the well they dropped like a lot of the issues that people had with season 1 and kind of like I guess tried to part ways from all that stuff and like do
I mean, to
do
be fair,
a
this
big
is just
split.
Jesse's opinion, right? Like,
Yes, yeah, I know, but I was like saying it's like what it seemed like the other review I saw or perused at talked about how like the uh that a lot of the things that people had issues with in season 1 they are like totally uh I'm trying to think of the words. They like went away with those issues and then they like made it better.
I mean,
And
I
so to
can.
me, I was like, oh, that means they're going back to the story, to the actual Halo
I
story.
mean, if we're talking about this, let's read some a little bit more off of some Rotten Tomato stuff. Which, by the way, it is currently with 13 reviews, which is not that much, sitting at a 92% Rotten Tomatoes, meaning like out of 13 reviewers, all but one gave it a fresh rating, which I think is more than 7. So, and Rotten Tomatoes' system is obviously a little different. But like this one right here, this premiere feels like the showrunners finally understand that while they don't have to hew too closely to the games to tell a good Halo story, it's worthwhile having at least some of that knowledge. Okay, all right, all right.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, I'll agree with that. You know,
it's a huge shift from season 1, and it's all the better for it. While there's still some parts that are stuck, the character of Chief and over reliance on talking, Halo season 2 is a departure for the better from the prior season.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
so far, So so far it seems like they've definitely really shifted gears from with season 2.
Though, and this is something I think I was seeing some people maybe get a little too hopium, which is like it's a new showrunner, it's new writers, they're gonna essentially wipe season one from existence. That was never gonna happen. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
because you'd have to do a complete
yeah,
redo of
yeah,
season
and
1 and
it's a
stuff. Like,
TV
I mean,
show.
yeah, there's like very few shows that basically like would gloss over some previous seasons and stuff. There's very few shows that would pull that off. I can't. I know there's some out there. I can't think of any off the top of my head, for
Yeah,
sure. But I know that there were a couple where there was seasons that completely bombed, and basically they were never referenced, or
yes, yes,
they were slightly glossed over or retconned and stuff in future seasons.
yeah, yeah. No, I know
So,
exactly what you mean. Um, it's
which with the season 2, you can't really retcon a whole lot of stuff in season 1. You
yeah,
kind of have to
yeah,
give it a few seasons, and then when you do like flashbacks and stuff, then you can rewrite the history.
and I, how do I phrase this? Just because you have a new showrunner and new writers, it doesn't mean they just throw away everything from the first season. Because I mean,
Yeah,
we talked about it a little bit, but our impressions of the season are still there. Um, you didn't like it too much. I thought it was decent, with some really good and some pretty friggin' awful.
yeah. I thought it was a good sci-fi show.
Yes, fair enough. Yeah,
Was it a
yeah.
good Halo show? No. Was it a good sci-fi show? Yes. That's what my
So I'm not gonna
uh
lie. I feel like you might have essentially the same feeling with season two. Because what makes Halo is also kind of different for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like there are some people online that are still not over the helmet. You know,
Yeah, which
being
to
off.
me that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it shouldn't bother anyone with normal sense. But like Kwanha's still in the show. People are like, "Oh, let's just remove her completely." Nope, she's not removed. She's still. See, you don't build up an entire friggin' character and then just completely remove it, right? You try and salvage it
Well,
and
I mean,
do
you
some.
can.
You can. But like
There's
first,
shows that have done that.
first you try salvaging it, right? Um, we know from the trailers. I mean, we went through the entire friggin' trailer together, right? We know there's some clear
Yeah,
departures already. Chief is there when Reach is being attacked. He's not wearing his armor. Things like that. Like
yeah,
I'm ready for those kind of changes. You know, I'm anticipating them, and all I really want to see is just some great action, some cool
yeah,
storytelling,
yeah.
and sci-fi.
That's what I'm excited for and stuff too. It's like that. Not to cut you off and stuff.
No, please, whenever you want. Please, I
The
talk way too
that
much.
that that is like so like I think I'll still enjoy the show.
Hmm.
No, like knowing kind of what to expect going into it.
Yeah.
I think what was tough for me in the first season was so so I was at the studio when they were talking about it, like
Okay.
and saying and kind of going through all the stuff and telling people internally what the show is going to be about. And it all they mentioned before was like, oh, a couple names might be changed or like locations might be
Mm,
changed. Um, and then so to hear that for like months
yeah.
and months of that, and then when the show comes out and it's just like, oh no, they
It's
took
completely different.
a
Yeah.
lot more out of it. Yeah. It's like that's kind of what I was like, really? Like you guys had all the story and stuff there that could easily have been made in there. Why'd you have to depart so much from it? Like I get the TV and stuff like that's different than video games and stuff like that. But when you look at a lot of other shows, stuff that did it, it's like like The Witcher and stuff. Like they stuck to the source
To be
material.
fair, The Witcher
And
is not a great example in recent times.
oh well, yes, not the recent ones, but
Yeah.
in the early days
Yeah.
and
Fair
stuff,
enough.
yeah,
Season one. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's so like it was possible. Well, or The Last of Us is another
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, so that's kind of like why I didn't like it. And the main, I can never remember her name,
Maki.
but the one, yeah,
Yeah.
Maki,
Yeah.
yeah,
Agreed.
you
Agreed.
know already,
Agreed. Like basically the
yeah,
Living Covenant.
it's
We didn't
like
have the budget for the
she,
Covenant character. Yes. 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, she. If they didn't have her in there, I think I would have been fine with it
Yeah.
because the fact that they added her in there, I was like, why? I was like,
Like
it's
the
ugh.
showrunner or the writers chose to tell a story about the chief finding his humanity, right? Rather
Yeah.
than what early days of what we know from Fall of Reach and CE, blah blah blah, which is just as a chief who's just chief. He's who he is. He's just a vehicle to move the story forward. I don't like begrudge them of that choice, because I get it. You're a writer, you want to like do something a little more interesting. You're like, okay, let's take this emotionless feeling robot and boom, throw an emotion and see how he handles it, right? Like on a high level, I get it. For Halo, that's clearly not necessarily what the fans wanted.
No, it's supposed to be more because is more of a military like
Exactly,
drama.
exactly.
So like the emotion comes from the camaraderie of
Yes.
like the immense pressures and stuff of the battles, watching your friends and stuff
Hmm.
die, like
And
and that
Cortana,
kind of
right?
toll.
I mean, like the game
Yeah,
shows him. To be fair, though, the game does that through 4 games, like or like three games. Like it takes a while,
yeah,
which a TV show might not
yes,
always have. Like you can't plan for
no,
season 3 storylines too much in season 1.
but they could have definitely like I think introduced Cortana with Chief like earlier and stuff, and
Mm.
then built that whole relationship up through the season and stuff. I
Yeah,
think, and then had her kind of nurture Chief into being the more emotion and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and then
T-
that kind of thing. Like
I
I
was
think that could have worked instead of throwing Maki in there.
I was going 100% agreed with that. I was going over the list of episodes for season 1 earlier today, and they weren't as long as I remember them. They're only like 39, 38,
Yeah,
sometimes 43
they were
minutes.
short.
So that's also a bit of an issue, is the runtime isn't that large, so they can't do like
Mhm.
everything. They got to
Yeah,
prioritize. I
and a
mean,
lot of that's because it was the first season
yeah,
and
yeah.
budget and stuff like that. Yeah,
I mean, overall, it's I enjoyed the first season. Also because I just really liked the action, and the suits were great, and the design was great, and the
Mhm.
art
Oh
pieces were
yeah,
great. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot to like. So I kind of
yeah,
made like a conscious effort not to let what I didn't like take away from what I did. Which
yeah.
I think most people, most Halo fans or hardcore Halo fans, if they want to like the show, will need to do for this season too. Some people are
Yeah.
gonna come in expecting like a complete shift, and it's like, oh yes, this is the Halo we love, and instead they're gonna get typical sci-fi talking for 20 minutes, typical sci-fi backstabbing for 20 minutes, and things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's and they do a great job at like all the CGI and the battles and stuff. Like
yeah,
that's why I kind of kept on going. Now I wish there was a lot more of that
hmm
in season one. And but that's what I like about the stuff for season two is it
yeah,
looks like a lot more battles.
yeah,
Because they do a great job with it. It's like cool kind of seeing all this stuff. Like I love seeing like the pelicans and warthogs like
yeah, yeah.
going all around. I was just like, oh, that's awesome.
There's this
It's like this
20
is the stuff I've been
minute
wanting.
like video Paramount uploaded. You should definitely check out. It's kind of a little bit behind the scenes, and they're talking about some interviews, but they talked about how like Pablo was talking about how in the first season the action was kind of wider, right? It was like
Yeah.
farther away, but like in this season they made a conscious effort to bring it closer up to you, to make it feel like you're there in it. And I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I need, because I liked the wide shots of action. I always like wide shots over close up stuff.
Yeah. You get to
Um,
see kind of the bigger
Exactly,
picture. But
and you can't just do a million takes usually when it's one shot action. But I
yeah.
mean, hey, let's. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what's up, and if they got to make the Covenant scary, right? That's like what they really got to do, and what they weren't able to do in the first season. Which is something I think the games never do really either, because in the games, the Covenant are just people you shoot. They're not an existential threat that's gonna wipe you out. They're, hey, there's an enemy, I
Yeah.
shoot them, they're done. The Flood are scary by design, but the Covenant in the
Yes.
games, not so much. Covenant in the books and the comics and whatnot, and like each encounter is like, holy crap, this is like I might die.
Yeah.
So I hope they have that aspect going for this season.
Yeah. I understand. And I think like with them attacking Reach and
Yeah.
everything like that, it's like because they also in the first season played the Covenant a lot more like they're trying to be like spies and stuff.
Yes,
They
exactly. More
play a
covert.
lot more
Yeah.
of the espionage
Yeah.
route, and I mean, you don't really think of the Covenant too much in that regard. They're more of
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
like let's hit on hard and keep on going.
Exactly. Like a military
Um,
superpower, right?
yes, yeah. So it's like it was kind of weird for them to see the more the espionage route. And I guess like that's the way for them to kind of introduce it. But I kind of liked when they introduced him on the Rebel planet and stuff.
Hmm. Dude, I'm just kind of thinking what Jesse's saying. Major departures from the show, from the games, blah blah. What if Reach doesn't fall in the first 4 episodes? Like that'd be a massive departure. Think they do that?
Well, I think when we were looking at all the names
It
of
looked like it
the
was, right?
episode
Like,
stuff, it looks like the attack wasn't going to happen until the mid season.
well, so the screener episodes, they watched up to episode 4. The 4th episode is called Reach, and from what I know, is the big Reach battle.
Okay, so yeah, which mid season?
Yes,
So,
exactly. Yes.
So yeah, like I mean, from the freaking, if it doesn't fall, then holy crap,
Yeah,
it's like,
right? Like, what the hell?
I mean, they have to make it. If they don't make it fall, then once again, it's such a departure away from the Covenant, because the Covenant, once they start attacking stuff, they just glass fucking everything.
No, what
Like,
if
they're
they
not.
win the space battle? In the
Oh,
thing, you know what I
I
mean?
see.
That's what I mean. I'm not
Yeah,
saying the Covenant will be like, okay, Reach will leave you be. More like, hey, we
yeah,
repelled the attack. You know?
maybe. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I think if they did that, it would be like, okay, what's the that now there's like, it's like, oh, we were able to defend this attack. Now they're not as scary,
It'd be
you
pretty
know?
funny if like they defend the attack and then they just come back the next day and just glass it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, we fended them off this time, and then they come back with even more ships and then wipe out everyone. Yeah, I mean, if they did that, I'd be fine. But it's like the Covenant has to win. Like, if the Covenant doesn't
Yes.
win, then you are doing a disservice to the antagonist of the show.
To be fair,
Like,
though, we do need to see Keys or someone do like a cool space thing and win at
oh
least
yeah,
one or
and
two
I'm pretty sure.
encounters. You know?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what if they kill Keys?
I mean, he does die, so it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, he does, but like, I mean, he dies in a totally different manner and stuff.
It'd be cool
So,
if you get like Ackerman or take his place. That'd be interesting. But either way, I mean, that we're talking about so far there. Do we even get to Halo? Do they not? We don't flipping know. Jesse doesn't flipping know. He's only seen the first 4 episodes.
I don't think they're going to get to. I think they're going to arrive at Halo. If anything, they're going to arrive at Halo on the last episode,
Yep.
like the last 15 minutes of the show.
I mean, hey, spoiler alert for those watching. We look through the episode titles. We know what the title for the last episode is. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
They're gonna keep it until last minute, so you have to come back.
Exactly.
Next
And to be
minute.
fair, that'd be a good cliffhanger. Amatoni in
Yeah.
the chat is asking.
But
yeah, sorry. Go on,
I
go
was
on.
gonna say, would it be a good cliffhanger? Because they did that cliffhanger last.
You're right, they did.
So, so like that's what because everyone thought that it was gonna be, this season was gonna be, oh, we're on Halo and stuff, but
you know, a good cliffhanger would have been the Pillar of Autumn leaving and being chased. That would have been a great cliffhanger. Basically, how when Halo reaches, right? But
yeah,
I don't think there's even going to be a Pillar of Autumn. So that's not how. Again,
hopefully
I'm going into this like knowing it's Halo, but not expecting any of the beat by beat things we know. Because to be fair, they're not adapting any game right now. They're kind of adapting the Fall of Reach, but that's about it. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think? Before we get to the chat, Noble Team gets a glimpse, yes or no? Or even a mention?
No. No. I don't think they will. I think they're gonna be focusing way too much on the other. They already have 4 Spartans. I mean, there might be an Easter egg. I'll say this. I think there'll be an Easter egg,
I think they won't say Noble Team because this is Silver Timeline, so it'll be different. But they'll like reference a Spartan 3 team that's like unkillable. You know, I think that.
I think they could reference Noble Team. I mean, but like I said, it would be an Easter egg thing. I mean, we saw the Easter eggs, or I saw a picture of the Easter eggs that they had in the
season 1 had so many.
Show. Yeah, where I'm like, I know they even internally they were like, oh, we have so many Easter eggs and stuff, and I got the Mass Effect one. Once I picked up on that when I first heard it, I was like, oh yes, Mass Effect. I was just like, yes.
Man, after every episode in season 1, I'd watch Halo Cannon's videos where he'd basically break down every single reference and Easter egg
Hey, Nick.
with the thing, which was really awesome. I know he's taking a break from content producing. I hope he comes back for this because that was really fun. But anyways, chat, I'm Tony's burning question. What brand are we going to get for product placement this year? I kind of don't remember which one
I
it
don't
was
know.
last year. Was it a car
I
brand?
don't either.
I think it might have been a car brand.
Usually it's some kind of car. Oh, I think it was a car brand because
Right?
there wasn't like a Toyota truck or
Yeah, I think
something.
there's a Toyota truck.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems
uh,
like it's always car brands. They just have the close up, like in the freaking Avengers movie, where it's just the Kia or whatever. That was in that one shot of them running around it or something. Yeah.
well,
Um,
it's not Amazon, so it's not gonna be a Fresco. Brand.
I think
What do you think?
I don't know because it's hard because it's like
500 years
futuristic.
in the
So it's like
future.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, they have Mountain Dew, It's just
Hey, you're
there's
throwing a mountain at one point.
after a long battle, Chief just goes up to a vending machine, just hits it, pulls out a Mountain Dew and
No,
chugs it real
what they
quick.
should do is have someone drink dew on a mountain. That'd be good enough for me. Just get a leaf and just drink it. I'd get it. I'd be okay.
That'd be funny.
All right. Winter Shoulder asks, do you guys think 343 will add Halo series Silver Team armors to Halo Infinite? So far, only the helmets are in weekly awards.
I think so.
I can see the coatings.
Yeah, I can see like the coatings and even like the specific like armors and stuff like that. I can see them adding that. It's weird that they wouldn't release that kind of stuff with the helmets. So
Though to
who
be fair, they're
knows?
staggering it, right? I mean, it's 8
Yeah.
seasons of sorry, 8 weeks, 8 seasons. 8 weeks of the show, right?
Oh, sure. So they might release the stuff
And
before
I
that.
know Halo fans don't like hearing this. But the show did pretty well. And it's a watched by an
Yes.
audience that doesn't friggin' know what Halo is. Because Paramount is the home of friggin' Sheridan, man. Paramount is the home of Yellowstone. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's home of like Star Trek and
Star
stuff.
Trek too,
They have
definitely, of course.
a lot of good like sci-fi shows and
Yeah.
stuff there.
Yeah.
So it's
But like,
yeah.
if they were smart, which I'm sure they are. Sorry, let me rephrase. If they have the resources, it would make sense to kind of have something related to the show for the next 8 weeks. And throughout. That'd be nice, even if it's just banners or hopefully codings or whatnot. And yeah, good day, Nick. Fingers crossed, we'll see the Arbiter pre-Arbiter. Yeah,
Because like when he's in his gold armor and stuff. Yeah, I think I don't know. They might make a reference to Thel.
yeah,
I don't know if they will or not. I think if we do see Arbiter before the Arbiter, it'd be when they actually take the show to Halo.
yes,
Because
because that's
in
that
the
where he'd be. Not
yes,
yeah.
yeah, but then again, they rewrite everything, so he might be at the fall reach.
I'm
But the
actually
whole
kind of
point of
curious.
him like being the Arbiter was because he failed at protecting the
Halo,
ring.
yeah.
So
I'm kind of curious. Assuming they get a season 3 and assuming the season 3 is on the ring, how faithful that will be to the games, right? Because that suddenly was like, okay, now we're actually where the game's taking place.
yeah,
What are we going?
I hope that they make that a bit more faithful.
Agreed.
Like it's like you kind of have to with that part.
Though
I mean, I get it because I mean, if you think about it, Reach already has been rewritten twice.
yes, yes.
And now now a third time with the
Mm-hmm.
show.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of this stuff has already been rewritten through the Bungie era and then through the 343 era and now through the show era. So but the games the events in Halo 1 haven't really been rewritten.
Yes.
So
Well,
like
I
it would
mean,
be
yeah, not
cool for
rewritten.
them
It's just adapted. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
My only issue with like that being more faithful is a TV show, right? An ensemble TV show, just by design, needs to have more than one character, and also can't be action 24/7, which is what the game is. So even if they were adapting the game more faithfully, it would still like change a fair bit just by the nature of what it is. I'm okay with that, but as long as like the main beats are the same, blowing up at the end, mostly everyone dying, you know what I mean, things like that.
Yeah, I can see that and stuff too. Like, or that's
cool
what I would hope for.
if they like adapted. they, oh, that'd be cool, man. How cool would it be if like the main plot was Chief alone in the ring with the Marines, and the B plot was Kai and maybe Riz doing the Ghosts of Onyx plot? That'd be
Ooh, that'd be
super cool.
cool. That'd be. I hope they go that direction. I
Yeah,
don't think they
I
will,
don't think they will either,
but I
but
hope.
that'd be
I hope
really
they.
cool. Tony, I wouldn't surprise me. In fact, this would actually be a good way to introduce the character. Is if they introduce an Arbiter this season, and they kill the Arbiter, because Arbiters are, suicidal troops essentially, and that introduces
Yeah.
us to the concept of the Arbiter. That'd be cool.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I can. Yeah, I think I would be fine with that too, because I mean, Halo Wars we had a different Arbiter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Than the current one. So yeah, I think that would be. I like that. I think if we do see an Arbiter, it would be an Arbiter.
All right, Halo producers, just rewrite the whole show right now if you don't have this happening, and just film it
Yeah.
in the next 2 weeks and just get it done. All right. Oh, this hammer is so broken. Holy crap! God damn.
Really
This
comments.
hammer's
Yeah.
so broken. Sorry, I'm just looking at my clips.
Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I look at the comments of where they're saying that Kiki Wolfkill in the interviews and stuff are talking about the Arbiter. It sound like we'll meet one
Yes.
on the Arbiter. So yeah, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
I do. Like, it'd be cool to see the armor.
Yeah, it'd be
And stuff
really cool.
on the big screen.
Watch
Like
how much. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm just saying,
I've
how much
always
you
been
want
a
to
huge
bet
fan.
you'd get at least a small part of Twitter outrage when like that Arbiter eventually dies, and they're like, "They killed the Arbiter! Oh, I can't believe it!"
Yeah. Oh, that was my first thought when people were
Right.
saying like that they do this. I was just like, I'm like, oh man, they're gonna introduce this Arbiter and stuff, and then have him killed. I think they might. So from like a show standpoint, like, if I'm a dumb audience member and I see them put like this one guy with this like cool unique armor, and he dies, and then the next season they bring another one in, then I'd be like, what? I'd be kind of confused. So they would really have to explain
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that it's a sacrificial role,
Yes,
sort of
like
thing.
it's a title. It's not a person. It's like who they are.
Yeah.
And there's been a ton of them. Blah blah blah. To be fair though, I mean the game did that in about 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
it did it pretty well. So
Yeah.
the show should be able to.
Yep. Yeah, and the Phantom and stuff there,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. I so I don't know. Yeah, I think they could do it, but yeah, it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I was always a huge fan of the Arbiter.
100. Dude, actually, when I first played him, I got pissed. I was like, what was it, like a 7-year-old kid,
I
8-year-old
loved
kid?
it.
I'm like, the hell is this? Give me back
was
to the
like-
chief.
I was like, yes, I get to be an alien.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Those Arbiter missions were my favorite.
Okay, my
Like,
initial reaction was
I
like,
like
the
being-
flip is going on. Because like it happens after a cliffhanger too, right? So like I want to know what's happening with the chief going into the portal. Like what the hell is going on there? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's when Halo 3 came out and stuff, I usually ran around as an elite. And then even in the following games, I would like to run around as elite.
Yeah.
I would usually switch.
Agreed, same here. I was elite
them,
doing
but-
multiplayer, yeah.
Yeah, but and Halo 2.
Yeah.
I forgot that you could be elite in Halo 2. I was running around as an elite because I was like, and people were always like, oh, the hitbox is different. I was like, I just like being an alien.
Straight up. Looking down, seeing the
It's
four
like-
fingers.
It's like I'm like 12 years old. I can't shoot for shit. So
And not gonna lie, that when it like you have camo on demand, my mind was blown. I'm like, holy crap. Then they insult you by saying like your armor is older. I'm like, oh man, screw you guys, all right? At least I have camo. Oh man, Halo 2,
yeah.
so good. But okay,
Well, the other elites always had had camo and stuff too. It's just like because our armor was older,
exactly.
the camo didn't last as long,
Yeah.
which was their nice little way of basically making a gameplay thing of just like you can't have
Turn
you
invisible
can't have
forever.
camo the whole time. Yeah.
Man, really smart way of kind of reintroducing the flood again by a group of people that have not seen it yet too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Halo 2 is awesome. Great game. But okay, I think that's us going through all the topics. This is the last episode before the spoiler cast. So the spoiler cast will not be our typical Halo era episodes. We'll have a couple of their members. It'll be more structured in the sense that it'll be just the show, only the show. Our thoughts going through. They hopefully won't last too long because it's midnight for John when we start them.
Yeah.
For those listening, the tentative time for the spoiler cast episode is 7 p.m. Eastern, which is what, 4 p.m. PST, midnight UK, and I don't know what the heck Australian. But
yeah, look it up. You all have Google.
straight up. But it'll be me, Nick, Jesse, and John. Whoever can make it. Sometimes maybe I won't be there. Sometimes Nick won't be there. Who knows? We'll see the schedules. And we'll talk about the episodes that just aired. We'll go through them as a group. What we thought, what we liked, what we didn't like. Should have some good discussion because I don't think John is a fan of the show at all. So we might see some good back and forth there, which is always fun.
Yeah. It'll probably be like me and John versus you and Jesse.
Other than that, in terms of HaloEra, because this is gonna go 8 weeks in a row, we'll talk about the show. But whenever there's major Halo news, we'll still be back on Wednesdays, talking about the show. Maybe not long episodes, maybe just touching on the news that we need to. I think, right? I think that should work.
Yeah.
Only
because
for like
we'll see.
major news. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So our episodes the next 8 weeks and stuff while the show is out might be a little bit more sparse, just because we'll be focused on doing the show reviews, and then also doing that'll take up a lot of time. So it's like, I know I need time for other things.
Exactly. Like so, it's not going to be every 2 weeks, of course, but in case something major happens, like, hey, if it does turn out it's coming to PlayStation, we'll hop on and we'll talk about that, right? Things like that. But okay, thank you everyone for watching. Nick, anything else you want to say before we sign out?
Nope. I guess we'll see you guys Friday.
Yeah, see you guys in a few days. And because I forgot to mention it, everything we do at XboxEra, a large part of it is through you guys watching, and also a large part of it is through the patrons. For those who enjoy what we do but want to provide a little more, feel free to pop on to patreon.com/XboxEra. Check it out there. What's kind of funny is I did personally initially push for this show to be a Patreon only to begin with, but I got shot down. So you guys should thank Jesse and John there for keeping the show public for everyone. Sorry, I gotta do what you gotta do, all right? But anyways,
yeah, we gotta sometimes make money, you know. Business gets kind of ugly sometimes.
Straight up. But I'm really looking forward to watching it. I would definitely say go in with an open mind, expecting changes, expecting to be like, the hell, you know what I mean? But other than that, episodes 1 and 2 air technically tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern, which is in roughly 6 hours, a little less than 6 hours. So for those of you who are either other time zones or want to stay up late, feel free. Otherwise, we'll be here talking all about the first 2 episodes this Friday. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Hope you guys have a good evening.
See you all.